Hi everyone, this is a training video about stimulus control and prompting. We're going to be talking about what is stimulus control, what's prompting, and the different types of prompting that are used. My name is Zuhair and I'm going to be taking you through the video. So what is a stimulus? A stimulus is anything in the environment that provides a cue for a behavior to occur. For example, if I'm driving and I see a red light, this becomes a stimulus for me to stop. Similarly, when the light turns green, this is the stimulus for me to go. So again, anything in the environment that provides a cue for a certain behavior to occur. So how as teachers can we gain control over the stimulus? As teachers, we can gain control over what stimulus prompts what behavior. And this can be used in learning, in teaching learners by teaching what specific behavior we want them to show when a stimulus is given, and by reducing unwanted behavior. So let's talk about prompts. What is a prompt? A prompt is basically a type of guidance that you provide for a learner to learn what exactly it is that we want from them when a stimulus is presented. There are many different types of prompting. The different types of prompting are full physical prompt, partial physical prompt, visual prompts, verbal prompts, gestural prompts, and modeling. So these are all the different types of prompting. Ideally, you want to use prompting in a way that leads to errorless learning for the learner. The way that we teach errorlessly is by providing the most intrusive prompt. So let's look at prompt and I'll get back into this. So the way that you teach errorlessly is by using the most intrusive prompt, which is full physical prompt. So for example, we give an instruction, touch the ball. So as soon as I will give this instruction, which will work as a stimulus, the instruction touch the ball will be the stimulus, and I will prompt with the highest level of prompt, which is full physical. So as soon as I say touch the ball, I will take the learner's hand and I will physically guide them to touch the ball. So we were talking about errorless teaching. So in errorless teaching, you will prompt immediately after giving an SD, providing the stimulus, the discriminative stimulus or the instruction, and right after you prompt them, you will reinforce them. So the learner learns that, okay, as soon as I touch the ball or as soon as I comply with the instructions, I get reinforcement. As you fade out your prompts by moving from a very intrusive prompt like full physical to less intrusive prompts. For example, first you say touch the ball, you physically get the learner to touch the ball. Afterwards, you say touch the ball. You don't physically prompt them all the way, but you kind of prompt them to where the ball is. So then it becomes partial physical prompt. This goes on as we start fading our prompts from most to least physical, and the learner learns that, okay, so if I continue engaging in this behavior, I will get reinforcement. And this leads to independent responding, and this leads to learning what behavior needs to occur when the stimulus is presented. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, these are the different types of prompts. The most intrusive prompt is full physical prompt, but whereby you okay, we'll talk about the different types of prompts in detail later. But for now, important to know that full physical prompt is the most intrusive, followed by partial physical prompt, followed by modeling, followed by gestural prompt, followed by verbal prompt, and then a visual prompt, and then the least intrusive one is the visual prompt, and after that, that leads to an independent response from the learner. So what are the different types of physical prompts that we have? There are two types of physical prompts. There's full physical prompt and there's partial physical prompt. A full physical prompt, as I mentioned earlier, is when you would physically prompt, take the learner and make them do the behavior that you want to see from them. So in this case, for example, if I want the learner to touch the ball, I will take the learner's arm, touch them on their hand and make their hand touch the ball, and then reinforce afterwards. So this would be an example of a full physical prompt. A partial physical prompt is different from a full physical prompt in that you don't physically guide them all the way, but just enough that they will know, okay, that's the behavior that needs to occur. For example, if the ball is on the table, you will take their arm and bring it close to the ball so they will know, okay, now I need to touch the ball. So that's a partial physical prompt. Next comes verbal prompts. So verbal prompts are very simple, basically talking and giving instructions. For example, if I say, if I want a learner to engage in writing, I will say, write this or write something, and then that's the behavior that I'm looking for, and I'm prompting them by telling them what to do, or for example where to look, etc. After this we have gestural prompts. So gestural prompts are, for example, pointing to a object. In case of touch ball, it will be giving the instruction touch ball and then pointing to the ball. So that would be a gestural prompt. Gestural prompts can also take the form of eye gaze. For example, if you're doing a chain and a learner forgets to do something, you can prompt them just by looking at the thing that they missed, and that will be a prompt for them to continue from where they left off, or do what they missed. Gestural prompts also take the form of movement. So for example, if I say touch ball, I will myself move in a way that goes towards the ball, and the learner will learn, okay, that I need to touch the ball. So those are gestural prompts. Next we have visual prompts. Visual prompts are the least intrusive forms of prompting. So a visual prompt is, it can be textual. For example, if I see written instructions that say, please don't step on the grass, I can take this as a visual prompt. So that's a visual prompt for me to not step on the grass or not engage in the behavior of stepping on the grass. Visual prompts can come in the form of pictures and videos, and so anything that visually, without any other kind of prompting, prompts the learner to engage in the desired behavior can be a visual prompt. Another sort of prompt that I want to talk about is modeling. Modeling is the prompt by which you or any other person will demonstrate the behavior that you want to the learner to exhibit. So that's a modeling prompt, and it's simple. It's just imitation. So if I want a learner to engage in, let's say, touching ball, I will say touch ball, and I myself will touch the ball, so the learner knows what to do. So this was a basic run through of what prompts and stimulus is, and here are the references by which we learned this behavior. Thank you.